33% win rate. Most traders would call that a failure. But what if that same win rate delivered a 22% return in a single month? That's exactly what happened when I backtested this mechanical fair value gap strategy on Euro USD. 2 months, 24 trades, one set of rules, no interpretation, and no gut feeling, just structure and execution. The first couple of trades nearly made me quit. But by the end, I was holding positions for 8 days and questioning everything I thought I knew about making a strategy profitable. Pay close attention to the mechanical rules that I outlined at the start, because the real lesson isn't P&L. It's in what happens when you trust the math over the emotions. Let's jump into the chart. All right, guys, here we are on the Euro USD 15-minute chart for Monday, February 2nd, 2026. We're going to continue our fair value gap strategy here. Before I start playing out the price action, let's go over the rules again of our mechanical strategy. First rule is that we will begin our trading window at 7 a.m. Eastern and close it at 4 p.m. If we're in a trade, we'll hold it overnight, but those are our main trading windows for the exercise. We will stay on the 15-minute chart and mark up fair value gaps that we see only on the 15-minute chart. There is no lower time frame confirmation for this strategy, just to keep things as simple as possible. The fair value gaps we mark up will be deliberate in that they will need to take a low or some type of significant session liquidity in order to be viable. Every single 15-minute fair value gap will not be marked up, but when we go through the exercise, you'll see how we discern a good fair value gap versus a bad one. Once price action enters our fair value gap, we're looking for a couple of things. Let's say we're approaching a bearish fair value gap, just like this one here. We need the 15-minute candle to close inside of the fair value gap, or in this case, below it. If the candle closes above this type of bearish fair value gap, then it's invalidated and we do not take a trade. But if it closes inside of our rules, then we place the entry at the close of the penetrating 15-minute candle. The stops go above the upper edge of the fair value gap in a bearish situation, and our PT will be set at the next logical liquidity target, so a session low or an opposite fair value gap. Again, this will make a lot more sense when we get into the actual examples. And the last rule is that we are going to ignore order flow for the purposes of this strategy. So regardless of what the order flow may be, if price enters a bullish fair value gap or a bearish fair value gap, we're going to play that direction. Those are the simple rules for this mechanical fair value gap strategy that worked out pretty well for us in January. Let's see how February turns out. All right, so we're set up here on the chart. Let's just play price forward. Now, as new fair value gaps appear, we'll have to do the exercise of seeing if they're viable. This fair value gap is viable because it takes these lows right here. To me, that is a strong fair value gap characteristic, and so we'll play that out. Let's see what price action does for us. Now, it's approaching this bullish fair value gap from back in January. We see that it's penetrated and closed inside of it without going through the other side. So this is a viable entry signal for us. We place our entry at the candle close, and we'll place our stops, in this case, at the bottom edge of the fair value gap. I like to leave a little space for breathing room, and then we're going to target the fair value gap that we just identified earlier. We're going to risk 1% of our running current balance. So that's going to be the trade setup. We're going to set this one on and see what happens. Okay, we get a nice reaction coming out of the fair value gap. I will not go to break even on any trade. I'm just going to let it play out, and we get stopped down. We're going to remember to remove any mitigated fair value gaps. We do not want any mitigated fair value gaps to remain, and we're going to keep going with the exercise. This pretty much takes us to the end of our day, so we're going to move forward to the next day. Okay, we'll want to review if any overnight fair value gaps have been created. I see one right here, this bearish fair value gap, because it takes this low right here. So we're going to count that, and we get a mitigation inside. Now it penetrates pretty deep, but does not close outside of it. So by our mechanical rules, this counts. Now, the stop loss on this would be pretty tight to have it right above the fair value gap upper border. So what I like to do in this scenario, just to give myself some space, is to look at the last buy to sell candle in this case, because we're looking for shorts, and place my stop at the top of that wick. So we can see that we have a buy to sell candle right here. That's the one I'm going to target in terms of my stop loss. And for take profit, I don't see any price action to the left beyond this previous day low as it would be here. So that's going to be our setup. We'll place our entry on. We get tagged in with a nice reaction away, and price is moving in our favor. It's a good thing we gave some extra space, because you can see that we probably would have gotten stopped out even with some breathing room. And play price forward, comes all the way back to our entry and stop. So that's a tough one. It did not get the previous day low here. So we're going to keep it going. It takes us pretty much to the end of the day. I'm less likely to take a second trade that late in the day. This is a viable fair value gap, because it takes a couple of lows. It takes this one, and it takes this one here, maybe even this one. So there's a couple here that it's taken. Let's see how it plays. Very similar to last time, we get a deep penetration, but it does not close through, so that fits our mechanical rules. This is the last buy to sell candle right here. Let me just zoom in for you. This is the last buy and sell candle right here. So I'll place my stops at the top of that wick. And then for a take profit, I could target this low here for a 2R, but I'm going to target that previous daily low because we have stacked liquidity now between these two lows right here. So it feels like a draw on liquidity for me. Let's see how it plays out. Place the trade on. We again get wicked in, and price moves in our favor, comes back, and immediately drops away. That's good for us. Does it again. So maybe it's collecting some liquidity. Now, at this point in the live markets, I would be very interested in moving to break even. This is your discretion. You can move to break even. You can take profits, whatever you need to do. For the purposes of the strategy at this back test, I'm not going to move anything to break even. So it's a consideration for analysis later on. But we passed our 4 p.m. timing, and so we're holding this one overnight. What I'm going to do is I'll go to the 1 hour chart and speed things up here for us. And you get a nice move right, Asia session, get a retrace, and it's flirting with our take profit here, hopefully just building liquidity. We get another aggressive move at the beginning of New York session the next day, and this is really testing our resolve here, and finally we hit take profit. So I didn't know what was going to happen though. We almost came back into drawdown, but we got our win here, and that was for a big 4.76. So that recovered our losses from previous, but it's a good winner, and we're just going to keep moving here, right? So we're going to move back to the 15-minute chart. There you see price action across 2 days. And I'm just going to move us to the next day because I wouldn't be looking for another trade at that point. Do we have any fair value gaps here? This fair value gap right here, the mitigated, the one under it does not take anything significant, so it's not valid. So we're just going to play price out and see if we get any new fair value gaps, just like this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stack these two right here. These are bullish, but they help take these equal highs right here. Okay, we have another fair value gap right here. And this is a good exercise here because one of the rules to validate our fair value gaps here on the 15-minute chart is to make sure that they take something of significance to their left in this case. Now, a big test I like to do is just drag my box across. As you can see, it's not taking anything of significance to its immediate left. It's not taking any highs. It doesn't take this high completely because it doesn't encapsulate it. So for me, this is an invalid fair value gap. And that's a quick test that I like to play during the backtesting exercises to see what valid fair value gaps we have. Okay, keep playing price forward. And it doesn't look like we're going to get anything today, so we're going to move on to the next day. Okay, we get some aggressive price action up. We completely blow through a old fair value gap here, so we're just going to remove that off the charts. We're going to see if we can observe anything inside of this overnight action. This fair value gap, it comes close, but if we do our pull across, it doesn't quite take those highs. It falls just underneath it. So that does not count. I don't see anything else that would otherwise. So we're going to just play price forward to see what we get here. We're approaching an old bearish fair value gap. Let's see if we get any engagement with that. We do. So let's play it back. We get a nice mitigation into it, but an immediate reaction out. So our rules say that we have to go to the end of that fair value gap, and I will target this fair value gap down here. Place our trade on, get tagged in, and price starts coming back on us. Looks like we're going to be in overnight hours at this point, so let's go to the 1 hour here. It's been middling around. We're into the next day. We just passed the next day, so this is now day 2 of this trade. And we get a heavy reaction on the 3rd day, deep into profit, but not quite there yet. So let's see what we can collect. Another thing is you may be asking, why aren't you stacking orders? Because there's a fair value gap right there, a bearish one that would be valid. You're right. It is a valid fair value gap that we could play for the purposes of the backtest. I'm not stacking orders just to make things a little bit simple. Obviously, as we collect more data, we can become more comfortable with stacking orders as the opportunities come. But for now, we won't. Price continues to kind of middle around here in profit. We're inching our way there. And we'll barely touch it, but not quite. And we finally hit take profit. Okay, so this one took, let's see, we enter on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. It took 8 days for this trade to play out. which is basically a swing trade. So this could be a viable swing trading strategy now that we kind of see it play out. Let's see how many times we can do this where we have to wait multiple days. If you're a swing trader, then this could be an option for you versus a day trader who's looking to get in and out in the same day. But again, a win nonetheless. Here's the other takeaway here. Let's go to the next day. So we're going to take 2 fair value gaps off the table here. And it is worth looking at what we've since created for ourselves before we move on to the next day. Let me just do that. Let me move on to the next day. Okay, so we have a fair value gap here that's taken lows and liquidity to its left. It's bearish. Do we have anything here? Yes. When we have 2 consecutive fair value gaps like this, I will pair them together. You have another one here. Again, these are valid because it takes this low right here. This is a low because there's no price action. In this case, lower to the left or right of it. Same thing here. This one's easy to see, and it takes, in this case, Asia low. So this fair value gap takes this low, which also happens to be Asia low. So a conflating element there. Let's see what we get in terms of price action. Price moves away aggressively from us, but let's see if it comes back. These are not valid fair value gaps because they don't take anything immediately to the left. So that's why we're not marking them up. Price comes back aggressively, but we're going to hit our 4 p.m. time block before we get anywhere. Those fair value gaps still remain, actually. No new fair value gaps have been created of interest overnight. And now this is the question, does this tap in or not? That's at 17,821. The high on this is 17,821. So technically this would have rung in my alarm system. So what we're going to do is, this is a really bad setup, if you ask me, because the entry would be down here and the stop would be all the way up here. And our next target opportunity would be all the way down here. So you know what? I'm going to play this because we're following our rules and it makes sense from a logical perspective. I would like a deeper penetration, but we have to keep things mechanical, and it hits that bottom border just exactly. So we're going to play it and we get stopped out. So I'm not going to lie, I probably expected that, but we got to keep to our rules here. Question is, do we have an opportunity on this other one? So because we were in the trade, it closed in. This one's pretty hard. I think in real time, I probably wouldn't be taking a double trade at this point because I tend not to be at my screen all the time, which is why I like testing these type of strategies. But let's just move on. We're not going to entertain that other idea there. We invalidate 2 fair value gaps overnight. This is a valid fair value gap because it takes this low right here as well as the low right next to it, this one. So let's see if price comes back. There's actually another one right underneath it, this one. That takes this low right here. So let's see what we get. Okay, there's a mitigation of that first fair value gap. Candle closes inside, not above. What I will do is I'll place my stops at the top of this fair value gap in case it wants to come back on us. And I'll target this previous day low down here. Okay, get tagged in. You'll notice we get tagged into the second fair value gap right above it. Doesn't matter, we get stopped down. Okay, so that is another loss. We're going to move on to the next day, February 22nd. Don't see any viable fair value gaps right here, so we're going to see if anything new is created. That's not one for our staking. Okay, now here's a bullish fair value because it takes this high here. We get tagged in, or excuse me, we get tapped in. Our entry would be right here. We put our stops just under the bottom border, give ourselves some space, and we're going to target this New York high from the other day. So with that said, we're going to place this trade on. Get tagged in, and stop down. We move on to the next day here. So technically this does fit our rules as a bearish fair value gap because it takes this low right here. Okay, so that's not a tag in, that is. So stops go at the entry. In this case, I'm going to go towards the last buy to sell candle, which is right there. And let's see what take profit makes sense. All right, so there's a previous New York low right here that I can target for 3.87 setup. Tagged in, and looks like we're going to stop down on this one. Yep, get stopped down on that. So we had a couple of big winners, and now we're heading into a losing streak, which is inevitable with any strategy. That's why we're building the data here to see how confident we need to be through these losing streaks. These fair value gaps are mitigated here, so I'm going to target this one. Again, this is the low it takes. So let's see what we get. Okay, there's your mitigation. This is going to be for a short. I will do the last buy to sell candle, which puts me right here. So a little bit of discretion is called for on this strategy because you don't want to set yourself up at a disadvantage by setting too tight a stop loss. Okay, set our trade on, get tagged in. Get a nice reaction away from our stop loss. And there you go. That's what we want to see. We flirt with our stop loss twice. Hopefully we can hit take profit and not come right back. They priced out. We're flirting again. Come on. Oh, that would kill me in real time. Let's see. Let's just jump to the 1 hour. Yeah, that would really mess with me to be so close to take profit and not hit. But let's see what happens. Back in drawdown. Oh, and we get stopped out. So that's a tough one. Right. That's a tough one. Buyers step in at the last second here, really, to prevent a take profit. Maybe that's a lesson in that maybe you shouldn't be so tight with it. If I gave a little bit of space, it would have gone in, but it is what it is. Okay, move on to the next day, okay, which is March. So that's going to conclude this month's exercise. Let's go to the results page to see how we did for the month of February. Okay, here we are with the results for February. You'll notice that we also had January to look at from a holistic perspective. Didn't do so great in February, but it still turned out to be a profitable month. We ended up with 22% P&L for February. Overall, we're looking at 17.85 net P&L across the 2 months. That includes 24 trades and still sitting nicely at a 2.04 profit factor. Now, our trade win percentage did go down to 33%, but when we have risk to rewards that are averaging out to 3R, 4R, 33% is more than profitable. Pretty decent equity curve. We had a lot of wins up front, as we recall, and then a few losses at the end. So far, we're still profitable on this strategy through 2 months. Again, 24 trades isn't enough to go into the live markets with confidence, but it is very much directional, which is why I'll continue this strategy into March. If you'd like to see that, then let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to expedite that video for you guys. I'm really encouraged with these early results, and I think it's interesting that this could be a viable swing strategy for those traders who are looking for a mechanical and simple swing strategy. If this video helped you on your trading journey, then subscribe so you don't miss any of my future backtesting videos. If you'd like to see a recent video where I broke down a trade or did a backtesting exercise using another strategy, then check out this video right here. Every trade teaches me something different, and hopefully this video will do the same for you. I'll see you there.